Kids don't forget.
Kids don't forget.
You kids don't forget.
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 Toya. So what is the correct pronunciation of your name?
Toya.
Toya.
Little.
Okay. How do you spell it?
LA space apostrophe capital TOYA.
Really? Now say it again for us.
Toya.
Okay. Okay. Now what have you gotten?
Latoya. Latoya. That's it.
That's really those two?
Yeah.
Okay. Your name is kind of hit or miss, basically. There's not too many things you would get with that. What would you say are some of the nicknames that you got growing up?
Toya, Chocolate, Black, Mamas, Polka.
So let's stop for a second. Who called you Chocolate?
Friends.
Friends, okay. Around the way or at school?
Yeah.
Okay. Who called you Black?
My pop.
Okay, your pop. Okay. Mamas?
My mom.
Okay, your mom.
My biological mom.
Only your biological mom called you mamas.
Yes.
Okay. What else? What else did you have?
Puka.
Puka, who called you that?
My biological dad.
Okay.
Snotty Pippin.
Snotty Pippin? That had to be something that came in school.
Yeah.
Snotty Pippin. Kids are so mean / creative. Snotty Pippin.
Yeah. LL Cool J daughter.
Wait, no. We're not skipping over Snotty Pippin. How did that happen? What did you have on a Bulls jersey and you were just like blowing your nose or something?
Well, growing up, my nose always ran.
Okay.
So, my nose always was snotty. So
Okay, got it.
That's where they got that name
The
from.
Snotty rhymes with Scotty and boom.
Yeah. And this was actually good friends that made this name up. This wasn't even the mean childhood friends.
Right.
This was actually my good friends that came up with that name.
So if you were somewhere far away where you're not even from, like somewhere in Canada, you heard somebody say, "Yo, Snotty," you would instantly got it. Anything else?
The mean names was stuff like Tar Baby and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
kids being
all
mean.
all the dark names.
Now there was one you said you got in school too, Sheep Wolf.
Yeah, Sheep Wolf. My homies called me that too.
Where'd that come from? You know?
My coat.
Oh, you had a coat? Okay.
Yeah, I had a coat with this nappy fur around the hood. And he go and say it looked like a sheep and a wolf.
Got it. At the same time, so they started calling you that. Wow.
Only he called me that.
Only one person. So, So if you were, again, somewhere far away and you heard that, you instantly
I don't know exactly who that is.
Like, what are you doing here? Right. Got it. So you just mentioned the hood. Where are you from?
I'm from 11th, Indiana, born and raised.
Where is 11th, Indiana, for anybody who doesn't know?
That's North Philly.
North Philly, okay.
Yeah, in the trenches.
The trenches, exactly. How would you describe your neighborhood growing up?
Growing up, my neighborhood was fun. It was exciting.
Okay.
We got in trouble. We broke doors. Basic neighborhood stuff.
Would you say it was a safe neighborhood or a dangerous neighborhood?
Not at all. It wasn't safe at all.
Nowhere near.
It was safe because back in the day,
people looked out for each other.
Yeah, the neighborhood looked out for the neighborhood. So
right.
We was cool for the most part, but if you weren't from my neighborhood, then
you have no business being around there.
It wasn't safe.
It's one of those questions like, yo, I just got jumped in North Philly. What was you doing around there?
But when we left the neighborhood, it was our neighborhood against whoever.
Okay.
So we always stuck together, and everybody's parents knew everybody's parents.
Okay. Got it. So when you said our or we left the neighborhood, were you an only child?
No. I actually got one sister and 3 brothers.
Okay.
But I grew up with 2 brothers.
You grew up with 2 of them. So the 2 you grew up with and a sister. If you are, first of all, are you the oldest, the youngest, in the middle?
I'm in the middle.
Okay.
I'm the second to the last.
So if you are 10 years old, how old are your siblings?
My little brother is 9. Then I got another brother that's 11.
Okay.
And my sister would be 17.
Wait. If you are so if you're 10, you got a brother that's 9 and a brother that's 11, and then an older sister that's 17.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're sandwiched by your two brothers.
Yeah.
Okay. So you really wouldn't have had any problems anyway, with those two kind of protecting you.
Yeah, I would.
You still have problems?
Absolutely.
Okay. How? With two brothers who were they with you all the time or
No.
Okay.
My brothers wasn't with me all the time, and me and my younger brother, we weren't even close growing up.
Okay.
We weren't close at all.
Okay.
So, I mean, we close now.
Right.
But growing up, we wasn't close. And my big brother, he was protective, but by the time I was 10, he was barely there.
Okay. Would you say that you grew up with both parents? Did you grow up with both parents?
Did I know both parents? Yes.
Okay. You knew both parents.
Yes.
Okay.
I know my mom and I know my dad.
Okay. So how would...
Did I live in a house with my mom? Yes. Was she there? No.
Okay. And what about your dad?
Did I know where he was at?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So how would you describe your relationship with them? Let's start with that. Like, how would you describe your relationship, whatever order you want, with your father and with your mother?
I didn't have a relationship.
No relationship with
Not
either
at all.
parent?
With either parents.
Okay. So now that you're an adult, when you look back, how do you feel like that affected you at the time, even up to today?
It made me a better parent.
Okay.
Because I'm 100% around in my kids' life.
Okay.
So, and it made me want to have kids. By me not having parents, it made me want to have a lot of kids.
So let's talk about that. Your parents not being around and having no relationship with them made you want to have kids.
Yeah.
First of all, how many do you have?
I have 8.
You wound up having 8 kids. Wow.
I wanted 10.
You wanted 10. You wanted 10. You have 8. Can you talk about that for a little bit? Like, how did that make you want to have kids? That's interesting.
It made me want to have kids because I felt like my parents didn't love me growing up.
Okay.
So I wanted my own family so I could have somebody love me. And I guess I wanted that loving family that I thought a lot of my friends had.
Okay.
Until I got older and realized that their families wasn't loving either, but it looked loving from the outside looking in, and that's what I wanted.
All right. So you know who your parents were, as you stated, right?
Yeah.
And you know how they raised you or lack thereof. So, and you said that them not being there made you a better parent. How would you describe, in your personal opinion, the similarities and differences of their parenting styles and yours? Like, for one, you said, I'm there.
I'm around.
That's A, okay.
I'm around. And for the most part, when my kids want something, if I got it, they got it.
Okay.
I didn't get that from my mom.
Okay.
I mean, my dad, I got that from him, but I had to be at a certain location at a certain time, or else I wouldn't have got it either.
Okay.
And after a while, I stopped caring. I didn't want to be around. It was like, if I got it, I got it. I don't, I don't.
Okay. Okay.
So it kind of started making me steal. It made me start stealing.
Really? Mm-hmm. Really? Because you weren't getting what you wanted when you wanted it, so, like, I'm going to get it, basically.
Right.
Okay. Did you ever get in trouble? Did you ever get caught or in trouble stealing stuff?
No. For the most part, I didn't get caught. The only time I got caught is when I stole from Mika.
So, who's Mika?
My sister.
Oh, that's your older sister who was, if you're 10, she's 18, you said?
17.
Okay. So, is there anything that ever broke you out of stealing?
I just started getting my own money.
Okay, so you started. Okay, interesting. So let's backtrack a little bit. I bet you don't remember all the schools you went to growing up.
I do.
You do? Okay.
I didn't go to that many schools.
All right, so kindergarten, go.
I went to Clymer, George Clymer Elementary School, 12th and Rush.
From 12th and Rush is in North Philly?
Yes.
Okay, from K through what?
K through 5.
Okay. Wow, so it seems pretty stable. So your parents, like you said, your parents weren't there, but you were in one house, though.
Yes, I stayed in one house. We lived in housing authority.
Okay.
So
okay.
I stayed there in one house, And I went to...
So the adult figure in your life was basically your older sister?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
That was
got it.
the adult figure.
Okay.
So...
I'm assuming she, like, so either you were very smart or she was on you, like, after school to get your homework done, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
I had none of that.
Okay. So you were basically, like, getting promoted from grade to grade on your own as a child?
Yeah. I mean, in
Interesting.
kindergarten and first and second grade, my mom used to make us write spelling words about 100 times if you couldn't spell it.
Right.
So she was very involved when it came to schoolwork at my younger ages.
Okay.
But by the time I got bigger, it was like, you got homework today? Yeah, I got homework. I just go in there and write whatever I want to write. So she didn't really care. I knew she wasn't going to check it.
Right.
So I really ain't do it.
Okay. So if you weren't doing your homework, how were you getting promoted? You were just killing it in school?
Yeah. I basically did what I wanted to do in elementary school. I didn't even like school. I used to go to school, pee on myself on purpose.
Really?
So I could leave early.
Okay.
And then my mom would stop answering the house phone because she stopped coming to pick me up.
Okay.
And then the school would just call my grandma's phone, which is my dad's mom.
Okay.
And then she'd just send somebody to pick me up. So, to tell you the truth, I really don't know how I got promoted.
Wow.
I wasn't there.
Okay.
Like, I didn't like school because I didn't like the clothes I had on. I didn't like the shoes that I was wearing. I didn't like the hairstyles I had. I really like nothing.
Okay. Okay. So that's interesting. So if we skip ahead to middle school, did you do the whole middle school at one school as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Where'd you go?
I went to James Elverson Middle School on 13th and Susquehanna.
That's also in North Philly. Okay. Did anything get better or worse in middle school?
It actually got worse.
It got worse.
It got worse.
So what happened in middle school?
Middle school, I wasn't going to class at all.
At all.
I wasn't going
But
to
you
class.
still never got left back, by the way.
I never got left back because I didn't get left back in middle school because the school cared about me.
Okay.
So, unlike my parents, I got love from the NTAs, the deans, the teachers. They seem to have more caring than my parents.
Okay. What's an NTA, by the way?
An NTA is like the school security guard.
Oh, okay.
She walked the halls. If you get in fights, that's what they call her.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
They escort you to the dean office or whatever.
Okay. So you had relationships with basically the adults in school kind of looked out for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's who my NTA, I can't remember her name, but that's who actually was the reason I graduated from middle school.
Really? Really? So she had your back and kind of pushed you to get things done. Okay. So you graduate from middle school, you go to high school, and where do you go to high school?
I went to William Penn.
Okay. And that is also in North Philly?
Broad and Master.
Okay. So you were in North Philly basically your whole childhood?
Yep.
Okay.
But William Penn, that was a hike from 11th, Indiana. My mom made me walk.
Okay.
She made me walk to and from school.
How long a walk would you say it is in minutes? On a good day, how long a walk is it? Or don't walk, you catch public transportation? Well, you just said she made you walk, so how long a walk is it?
In the beginning, I walked. In the beginning, I didn't walk because I had this one good friend that used to live on the corner.
Okay.
Who mom always gave her car fare.
How long of car fare? So y'all
she
caught the
used to
bus?
give me a token to get to school, but I always had to walk back home from school.
Okay. How long was the bus ride or the train ride?
The train ride was about a good 3 stops, so it was about a good 10 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
But walking seemed like it was like an hour.
Okay.
It was like the longest walk ever.
Okay.
Especially when you walking in the snow.
Yeah, it takes a
walking
toll
in the
on
rain.
you. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're at William Penn. How would you describe that experience? And how long were you at William Penn? Did you do 9th through 12th?
No, I went to William Penn for a good 2 months.
For 2 months. Oh, so September and October of 9th grade, William Penn.
I fought every time I stepped foot into that school.
Really? Okay. So by high school, by high school, you got different neighborhoods all going to the school, or was it like so? Even though you guys are all from North Philly, it's different sections of North Philly now.
Right, because then we got Beirut, which is 12th and Hunterdon.
Okay.
We got Richard Island. We got
What's
Tiffin
Richard
Thompson.
Allen? What's Richard Allen?
Richard Island is like 8th and Parish.
Okay.
8th and Poplar, up in that neighborhood.
Okay.
On the other side of Girard. It's in between Girard and Fairmount.
So I heard that it was an apartment complex, or is it like a projects?
Yeah, it's a development.
Okay.
Then we got 10th and Thompson, which is a high rise.
Okay.
So you got them.
Okay.
Then you got Spring Garden, 7th and Spring Garden, Penn.
Interesting. Okay.
They was going there.
Okay.
And it was just this one particular
And what was your
student.
neighborhood?
I'm still from 11th and Indiana.
Okay.
We L&I.
Oh, L&I. Okay.
11th
Okay.
and Indy.
So it was L&I against basically the world, like you said.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I survived with Beirut because my dad lived in Beirut, 12th and Hunterdon.
So you knew some of them.
Yeah, I was able to consider both of them my neighborhoods.
Okay.
But I lived in 11th and Indy.
So time out for a second. The neighborhood was called Beirut. That's in the real world, Beirut is a war zone, like.
And they still is. They still a war zone.
In North Philly.
And
The
they
neighborhood
still
is called
Beirut to this day.
Wow. Okay. So
But if
you were
you're from
fighting.
there, you good.
If you're from there, you're straight.
Yes.
If you're not from around there, you probably don't need to be around there.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
So you were there at William Penn for 2 months. So you
Yeah.
got, kicked out for fighting?
Yeah, my first 2 weeks I was fighting. I don't even know what hood the girl was from.
Right.
But I'm like 4'11" and she had to be like 6'2".
Okay.
So I don't know why she ain't like me. Maybe I was dark skinned, who knows?
Right.
But I wasn't having it. So we fought. I got suspended, she got suspended.
Okay.
We came back. As fast as our parents reinstated us, we was fighting again before they even got out the building.
As soon as y'all seen each other, it was on site.
So they was like, y'all can walk back to class.
Now, who initiated it? You or her?
The first fight she initiated.
Okay.
But after that, I wasn't finished. Like, I don't know. It was like, once I fight, it's
Y'all,
like
y'all going around 30.
Yeah.
No matter who went, we're going around 30.
Absolutely.
As soon as I see you. Okay.
So by the third reinstatement, that was like the second month,
The same girl?
we were back in class.
Oh, she was in your class.
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually made it back to the class this time.
Okay.
But we got to the fight. I picked the desk up, threw the desk, threw the books, threw whatever that was in my way.
Right. At her.
Yeah.
Did anything land?
I really don't even know. I blacked out.
Oh, you blacked out on her. Okay.
I don't know if nothing landed, but I know I got handcuffed.
Oh, wow.
I know they wanted to lock me up.
They called the cops on you.
They called the cops on me.
Wow. They're like, this girl crazy. She throwing death.
I don't even know what she looked like today. If I see her day tomorrow, I wouldn't even know who the
You
girl
don't
is.
even remember.
But I remember it like it was just, I remember everything that happened.
Okay, like leading up to it.
Yeah.
So what happened? Like, was it one of those on-site things where you were in class minding your business and she said something slick to you? Like,
Yeah.
Okay. So what exactly happened?
I think she was talking about the last fight. I think she was like, yeah, you gonna try to get me in the hallway, but I still want, because now she in the class with the audience.
Right.
Because she ain't say nothing to walk back to the class.
Right.
She went to the class, the guy with the audience, and it was like, girl,
Right.
you don't get enough. Like, you don't get enough. Like,
Got it. So you kicked out of William Penn, and then
so
what
my
happened?
mom came up to the school again.
Okay.
And this was like when you going through something with another student or anybody, even outside, my mom is there for you. That's the only time that she's there. If you got a problem, she rock out for her kids.
Okay.
So when they was talking about either the psychological evaluation and they wanted to lock me up, my mom took my side. Even though I knew what I did was wrong.
Right.
So, but I got kicked out. They wanted to send me to Boone, but they ended up sending me to Simon Gratz.
So wait, what's Boone?
Boone is like a bad school that they send you when you keep getting into fights.
Oh, okay. So it's not confined to the neighborhood. It's kind of like the Philly school where they send kids if they the bad
So you could
kids.
you could come from any neighborhood and be in here.
So how'd you dodge Boone?
I don't know.
Okay.
They just was like, we gonna give her another chance.
Okay.
And they sent me to Gratz.
So where is Gratz?
Gratz is at 17th and 100 Park. Still in North Philly.
It's still in North Philly.
Yeah, it's still in
but
North
this
Philly.
is probably another area of
Just
North
on the
Philly.
other side.
Okay.
So then I'm over there with the area people.
Okay.
And 100 Park people. So
Okay.
you just went from one neighborhood to the next, but
Right.
you in there with a bunch of neighborhoods that still ain't your neighborhood.
Did you have less problems, same equal amount, or more?
I had less problems.
Less problems at Gratz?
I had less problems at Gratz.
Okay. So overall, did you like the 2 months you were there and the time you were at Gratz, what school did you like better?
I like Gratz.
You like Gratz better? Okay.
I like Gratz
Why?
better. Because it was less drama.
Okay.
The school wasn't as big as William Penn.
Right.
William Penn was really big, so they couldn't really watch the school that much.
Okay.
Gratz was like more confined, so
Okay.
we normally got into fights with other schools going to Gratz.
Oh, it was at the schools, not inter-neighborhood, same school.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
Okay.
We really got into fights with other schools, but by then I was over school.
So how long were you at Gratz? You did like the rest of the 9th grade?
Yeah, I did the rest of 9th grade.
Okay. 10th grade?
Went to 10th and then dropped out.
Of school, period. How did that happen?
I was homeless.
Really? All right, let's get into that. So in 9th grade, you're home, which still at your mom's house?
I wasn't at my mom's house. I was...
You already weren't at your mom's house. At what point did you move out of your mom's house or leave your mom's house?
I got kicked out of my mom's house at 11, 12.
So let's stop for a second. You didn't leave, you got kicked out.
I got kicked out.
An 11-year-old
Yes.
in 5th grade or 6th.
Yes.
You care to elaborate on how that happened, if you remember?
I don't know. My mom is fast to tell you to get out.
Okay.
Like, even to this day, if I go to her house and she don't agree with something that go on, she just rather just kick you out. Like, when she don't like to be wrong.
Like how Martin used to be like, step.
Yeah.
But he would be saying it to other adults.
And I guess she assumed that I was going to be at my grandma's house.
Oh, okay.
Because at one point, that is where I went. I
Okay.
went to my grandma's house because you could go to your grandma's house. You could take your friends to your grandma's house.
Right.
My grandma's house is the house where there's no... There's an adult there,
Right.
but ain't no supervision there.
So she would say something like, if you don't like it, you can leave. But by leave, she meant go to grandmom's, even though she didn't explicitly say it.
Right.
So this one time she said you could leave, and you didn't go to
No,
grandmom's.
she told me to get out, and she slammed the door and locked it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That's exactly
So
what she
you
said.
remember this day?
Yeah.
So where'd you go? Well, first of all, did you try to get back in the house, or did you?
Not at all.
Okay.
No, I didn't want to be there anyway. I ain't want to be there. You ain't want me there. Cool.
Got it. Where'd you go?
So at this point, I did go to my grandma's house.
Oh, you did go to your grandmom's, which your mom knew in the first place. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was at my grandma's house because this is normally where my dad will come.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that this family...
That's normally where you see your dad.
Yeah.
Got it.
Like, all my grandma kids still used to live with her.
Okay.
Majority of them anyway.
Okay.
So, all my cousins there. I'm thinking I'm about to go over there and have a good time. But it was like the worst day of my life.
Really? Okay. Let's go into that. So what happened after you get there?
When I first got there, everything was fine. I had this favorite uncle. Everything was fine. I thought he loved me. And the whole time, he just wanted to sleep with me.
Are you serious? Wow.
Oh, God.
Now, I get it. It's like frustrating.
Ooh.
Like, you think about it, you're like, yo, I'm so frustrated by this. Wow.
Yeah, and at this time, I was 11 or 12
Wow.
when I was raped by my uncle.
Do you remember exactly what happened? If you care to go into it. If you don't, then it's not a problem.
Yeah. We was upstairs in the living room first.
Okay.
Watching movies on TV.
Now, by we, just you and him?
Yeah, just me and him.
Okay.
Because I think my dad was outside in the streets. My grandma go to bed at like 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Well, she goes to her room at 6 o'clock. She don't be asleep.
Okay.
So, we downstairs watching movies. Next thing you know, he wanted to go into his room and watch movies.
Now, his
But
room was
in the
upstairs?
basement.
Oh, it was in the basement. Okay.
His room was in the basement.
Okay.
And then we get in his room.
And you think nothing of it because you've been in his room a million times?
Yeah, I've been in his room a million times with my cousin.
Okay.
And I've been around him a million times, so...
Right.
I thought nothing of it. He was my favorite uncle.
Okay.
He was the uncle that all the kids had fun with.
Okay, got it.
He make jokes, tell you stories, sing, make up songs. Like, I thought that he was the only one that really cared about me on both sides of my family.
Okay.
So it was like, I really confided in him. And then we get in his room. I think he cut on... What he cut on? I can't even think of the movie, but... It was a movie that... It was kind of funny to him, but it was stupid. So it wasn't really funny to me. It wasn't my cup of tea.
Okay.
So I ended up getting sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he knew that I was going to get sleepy because he knew I don't really care for these movies.
Got it.
And at
Oh,
that point,
so looking back, he probably put on a movie that he knew was going to bore the crap out of you.
yeah.
Got it.
That's what I came up with. I don't know
Okay.
if that's what happened for sure.
Okay.
But I know at that point, he started rubbing on me. Like rubbing on my back or whatever.
Okay.
So I was still,
At this point, you still didn't think anything of it.
No.
Okay.
I'm just thinking that he just rubbing on me. I don't know. I kind of knew that it was different, but I didn't want to be like, oh, my favorite uncle being weird.
Okay.
So then it got to the point where he's like, you falling asleep? So I'm like, yeah, I'm getting sleepy. So he like, you want some candy? Because candy make kids stay woke. So I'm like, yeah, cool. I like candy. Candy good. Then he went to close your eyes, open your mouth. Here come a big surprise. And at that point, he put his dick in my mouth.
Wow.
So it's like,
And you remember that like yesterday.
I remember everything. I remember everything that happened that night.
So that wasn't the end of it.
No.
Okay.
Because after that, he ended up putting it in me. So my uncle basically broke my virginity.
Wow.
And everything in me wanted to get up and run and scream, but I feel like I had nowhere to go. As a kid, it's like you got nowhere to go, and you can't really tell nobody because this side of my family is rug sweepers. Like, they sweep everything under the rug.
Okay.
So it's like, it makes it like nothing never happened. They try to make it like you're the problem.
Right.
Because on this side of the family, I was always known as the crazy cousin.
Okay.
Don't bother her, she crazy. Don't say nothing to her, she crazy. Because I always snapped out. I was the fighter, and I always had anger issues.
Okay.
And it just got worse after that.
So this happened more than once.
No.
Okay, so it only happened once, and this was around like 8, 9 o'clock. So you wound up. What happened? Like after it was over, you left, or?
No, after it was over, I went upstairs and I laid on a couch in the living room and went to sleep.
Okay.
My dad came in.
Your dad came that same night, or?
Yeah, he came in. He came in around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And he told me to go upstairs in his room and just get in the bed because that's where he normally watched TV at, in the living room.
Got you.
And after that, when I woke up, I left.
You didn't tell your dad?
Mm-mm.
Do you remember why, or like thinking back why you didn't tell your pop what happened?
I guess I didn't tell him because I didn't want to be judged.
Okay.
Or because I thought that he was going to really try to hurt him, which I was hoping that's what he would have did.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I still had that love for my uncle. Like, I don't really want him hurt, even though he hurt me.
Right.
It was still like, I still care more for you than you care for me.
Right.
So I guess that's why I didn't tell him.
So you stayed the night there, and then in the morning you got up and left?
I left.
So you didn't see him in the morning?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Looking back, like you looking back and think about that, how would you say, like personally, that affected you, like moving forward, just the rest of your childhood? Like, did you look at people differently? Did that enhance your anger? Like, what would you say?
It definitely enhanced my anger. It enhanced my anger. It affected me every day, relationship wise.
Okay.
Because now that I really don't trust men to a certain extent.
Okay.
And the way that I was hurt by the intercourse, I
Right.
really don't care for it.
Okay.
I don't. Now it's like I do it because y'all want to.
Now that's interesting. That's an interesting concept because you want to have a lot of kids, but you don't really even care about having sex.
Right.
So did you ever consider like adopting kids, or you just wanted your own?
I wanted my own.
Okay, but you're having sex with guys just because they want to, not necessarily because you want to.
Yeah, and that all came from my uncle.
Wow. With that being said, so let's go here for a second. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst ever and 10 being the best possible, how would you personally rate your overall childhood?
0.
0. Wow. And normally I ask people like, whatever number it is, I'll ask them like, if they say 6, I'll be like, well, what would have made it a 7 or 8? So for you, like, you've been through a lot. Like just that story right that alone, you've been through a lot. Well, like overall, if you look back, like what in your opinion, what would have made your childhood better? Do you feel like your kids are having a better childhood than you did?
Yes, absolutely. My kids go places. I take my kids places. I'm around my kids. I'm active with school. And I actually talk to my kids. My parents never talked to me. They never knew if I was having a good day, a bad day. Like even when I got into stuff in schools, my parents never said, well, what made you do this? Okay. Why did this happen?
Okay.
It was just like, okay, you home. You on punishment because you got suspended, so you going to sit in here and you going to clean up all day. And you going to clean up all day because you're suspended. And you're not going to stop cleaning up until you're off of suspension.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I'm used to this now. I get suspended, I go home, I clean up. Okay.
When you said you left, like, so again, you're 11, 12, you still a little kid. When you leave your grandmom's house, where you go?
I hung outside for the most part. For the most part, I hung outside.
No, I mean, period. So you weren't staying with your grandmom anymore, and you didn't go back home to your mom's. Where'd you go?
I was outside.
You literally were outside. Okay, so you understood the question the first time I said it. So you were outside, but eventually it gets dark.
Yeah.
So it's nighttime. By the way, do you remember like what time of year this was? Was it the summer, the spring, the fall, winter?
This happened in the spring going into the summer.
Okay, so having said that, when it gets night, like you don't have to find shelter like it would be in like January or February where it's freezing.
Yeah, okay. It wasn't cold.
All right, so you outside, it gets dark, it's like 9, 10 o'clock. Most kids in the hood, the street lights come on, they gotta be in the house. People start going in the house. What do?
I navigated back down to where I'm originally from, because that's where most of my friends was at.
Okay, how far away did your grandma live from where you from?
On the other side of Lehigh. So she lived about 5 minutes, 5-minute walk.
Oh, okay.
She was really close.
But it's a different neighborhood, though.
It's a different neighborhood. Once you cross Lehigh.
Once you cross Lehigh, you're in a different hood.
neighborhood.
Okay, got it. So you go back to
where
you from.
So I went back over there because that's where most of my friends was at.
Okay.
And my best friend was named Alfred. His birthday just passed.
Okay, shout out to Alfred.
But I actually told him, he actually knew everything that happened to me.
He knew.
So out of all my friends and family, he knew about everything.
Okay.
So his mom had this door where you was only able to lock it with a key, the top lock.
What's his mom's name? What we
Miss
call
Michelle.
her? Miss Michelle. Shout out to Miss Michelle. Okay.
She had this door where you only could lock it with a key.
I know the boat locks.
Yeah.
Right.
And the inside and the outside. So she worked overnight.
Okay.
So once she used to leave, he went on the avenue and got a key made without her permission. So once she went to work, he snuck and started sneaking me in his house.
Now, did he have an ulterior motive, or was he really helping you?
He was really just helping me.
That's what's up. Shout out to Alfred.
That was my best friend.
Wow, so he risked getting in trouble, just go behind his mom's back, make a key, so because his mom locked the door when she left, he made a key to let you in so you wouldn't be in the street.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now I started liking him for real at one point.
Okay.
Because I started falling for the nice stuff that you did. Like,
okay.
It was like once a man do something nice for me, I started wanting to pay him with sex. Like, that's another thing that my uncle affected me with.
Okay.
Even though that he never did it.
Right.
It was like.
So Alfred was like, nah, you my homegirl. I just want to make sure you straight.
Okay. At one point, because he was still a virgin too.
So he would let you in, and I'm assuming he went to his room to sleep. Like, where were you sleeping there?
I was in his room.
You was in his room? Like, on the bed too, or on the floor?
I was on the bed.
Okay.
I was on the bed. He slept at one end, I slept at the other end.
Okay.
And I used to have to leave before his mom came in.
Right. So what did y'all do? Like, set the alarm clock or something so you can get up?
I don't know what we did. We just used to get up.
Like, yo, mom, come here. You got to roll.
Yeah. He didn't even say you got to roll because I already knew.
You already knew what it was.
Yeah, so it was like, all right, yo, let me out.
Did you ever have any close calls where like you was leaving the second she was coming
No,
in?
we was always cool. Somebody on the block ended up telling.
Oh, yeah, somebody
Because in
ran.
our neighborhood, everybody knew everybody.
And everybody's watching.
Yeah.
It's 3 in the morning. You think everybody's asleep? They're not.
Everybody watched.
Exactly. Okay.
So at this point, my sister husband,
Wait. Before that, so somebody told like what happened.
he got his key to.
Oh, his mom confronted him.
Yeah.
Was like, "Give me that key now."
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she found out that he had a key, so she just took it.
Okay.
I don't know if he got a beating or nothing.
Right.
Probably not. Because he was still outside the next day or whatever, but.
Oh, okay. But he just told you like, "Yo, I got the key to."
Yeah.
So now you gotta figure out what you're doing tonight or that
Yeah.
night. Okay.
And my sister, her husband,
So your sister's married by now.
yeah.
Okay, got it.
They used to live across the street from us on Marvine Street.
Okay.
So his family still used to live across the street. So he had a yellow truck that used to park on Glenwood Avenue.
Okay.
And he never locked the doors.
Okay.
So at this point, this is where I used to sleep in.
So you used to sleep in your sister's husband's truck.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I used to sleep in his truck.
How long did that last? A month?
It
A
lasted
week?
for about 5 months.
Really? Wow.
Every day. Because it started back getting kind of cold.
Okay. Right.
So, yeah. So I was in the school, had started back. And at this point, I was back outside. Like, I was outside on Alfred block. I would just stay over there because then he'd just be in the window talking to me for a minute.
Okay.
But after a while, he'd go to sleep. And I just should sit there. And I think that one day the lady seen me outside.
Okay.
Her name Kia.
Shout out to Miss Kia.
And I used to get her son, go to the playground or whatever. And then she was like, one day she just randomly just asked me if I want to babysit her kids
Okay.
while she went out.
Okay.
And I was like, cool.
Right.
And then she was like, you ain't got to ask your mom. Can you stay? You ain't. And I was like, no. So she went out. She came back the next day. I was still in her crib, never left out. She's like, you ain't got to go home, get no change of clothes. After the questions kept coming, I ended up leaving out
Okay.
to make it seem like I was going home to get a change of clothes.
Right.
But in reality, I went to the thrift store in Germantown and Lehigh
Okay.
to just change my clothes, and then I came back because I ended
Wow.
up stealing clothes from the store.
Okay.
And then I come back, and I just go back in her house or whatever, play with her kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day, she did the same thing.
Okay.
Can you watch my kids while I go out?
Right.
And I'm like, sure. But by the time she came back the next day, she just was like, do you want to live here? Out of random.
Really?
And I'm like, yeah. So she never told me that she seen me outside or she knew I was homeless.
Right.
Maybe because she thought I was going to run or something.
Okay.
But she took me in. Her husband.
Okay.
They took me in off the streets to live with them.
Wow. So some random lady from the hood who kind of noticed you was always around, and she probably saw that you was lingering around a little too long. That she knew something was wrong.
Right.
Okay. But she knew you enough to trust you with her kids.
Right.
Okay. Got it. How long did you wind up being with her?
I was with her until 20.
Really? So you were there for the rest of your childhood?
Yeah.
Interesting. Did you wind up going back to school?
I went back to school. I
At
went back to Gratz
You went back to Gratz,
for
okay.
Twilight.
Okay, what's Twilight?
Twilight is night school.
Oh, okay, got it.
It's what you go after school hours.
Okay.
So I went back to Twilight for a little bit. And then I ended up dropping out again.
Why?
Because at one point, her husband ended up having a situation.
Okay.
So they ended up leaving.
Okay.
And I was there with
The
her
kids.
daughters.
Right.
I was there with her 2 daughters. So I basically became their parent for a little bit.
Okay.
So I was making sure they went to school and helping them with homework and doing their hair.
Interesting.
And I ended up started talking to a drug dealer.
Right.
Because that's where I started getting my money from.
Okay.
And after that, the drug dealer ended up getting me pregnant, and I ended up moving out.
So this was your first child when you were 20?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. So we talked about some of your worst days in childhood. Do you have a best day of your childhood that if you could, you would go back to?
Ooh. No.
No. Okay. Fair answer. In your personal opinion, how would you say that your childhood overall has affected your life with all the things that happened? The woman that you are today, the parent you are today, like the things that you're doing in your career, how would you say that your childhood has like directly affected like who you are today as a person?
It actually motivated me.
Okay.
It motivated me to not be homeless ever again in my life.
Okay.
To not be broke ever again in my life.
Okay.
To try to give my kids everything that they want if they deserved it.
Okay.
It motivated me to want to do better than everybody that ever looked down on me.
Got it.
And that was always my goal, to do better than everybody. So when everybody be like, oh, we're all the same, ain't nobody better than the next, that's a lie. I know I am.
I heard that. So in conclusion, let me ask you this. Well, it's not a question. It's more an activity, more of an activity that we'll do in conclusion. When you look back, I want you to give some advice to blank-year-old Toya, where you pick the age. If you could talk to blank-year-old Toya, what would you tell her? Late Toya, I'm sorry.
I would have told her.
Wait, what age?
12.
12-year-old late Toya. What would you tell her?
I would have told her to speak up. Don't bite your tongue. Tell what happened. Let it be known. It's going to be all right.
Okay.
Because even grown Toya, when I told myself to speak up, I still got judged. And I was grown.
Okay.
So.
That's that. I would like to thank you. Thank you for being so brave, Toya. We appreciate you.
Thank you.